This is going to be the first of a few videos about using if statements in JavaScript. So I'm just going to go over a few examples. They work really very much the same as they do in Snap. So here I'm asking a user, I'm prompting them to enter a grade, and this is pretty self-explanatory, I think. I'm saying if grade is less than 65, you failed. If grade is greater than or equal to 65, now this symbol, the ampersand, it's above the 7 on the keyboard. That's how you say and. So I'm saying if grade is greater than or equal to 65 and grade is less than 85, you passed. Else if grade is greater than or equal to 85 and less than or equal to 100, great job. Else, I don't think that's possible. Now, the else statement will run if nothing else is true. So if none of these cases are true, the else will happen. Notice there's no condition here. There's nothing in parentheses here. So I wouldn't say anything. It would be incorrect to say else something like grade greater than 100. That would be incorrect. The else condition, all by itself. So just to be clear, I can have as many else ifs as I like. I can only have one else though. And actually, just to keep it really simple, I mean, I could get rid of this whole thing. I could just have an if. I could have an if and a bunch of else ifs if I want to. Very much the same as in Snap. So let me put this back here for a second. What if I wanted to add a case that says if their grade was exactly 100, perfect score or something like that? Could I do that? Well, of course I could. So let's do a case here where it says if grade is greater than or equal to 85 and grade is less than 100, great job. And let's add one more case, and I'm just going to cut and paste because I'm not a very good typer, as you know. And my last else if might say something like if grade is equal to 100. Now pay close attention to this. One equal sign is an assignment statement. That would mean that I'm assigning 100 to grade. I don't want to do that. I'm using two equal signs. This is the first time you've seen this. Two equal signs is a comparison. So I'm comparing grade to 100. If grade is equal to 100, I will say perfect score. How about that? Perfect score, exclamation point. Now, I mean, I could test this, but I think it's going to work. So let me save it, and I'll give it a run. And I'll try 85. Great job. Let's run it again. This time I'll type in 100. Perfect score. So it seems to work. Now really I should test every single case to make sure it works perfectly, but I think it's going to work here. A couple other things to point out real quick. Inside of if statements or else if statements, notice I'm indenting. So I have this curly bracket and end of curly bracket, which designates the beginning and end of this part of the if. And inside of that, I indent a full tab. That's the correct syntax. It'll run if you don't indent, but really that's the preferred way of doing it. I'm indenting everything to show that it's inside this if. Here I have my else if, also beginning and ending with curly brackets, and I indent everything. Now I could have more than one line of code here, or more than one line of code here, and everything inside of the curly brackets would be indented. So that's just the syntax. The other thing that I want to point out is I've been telling you that every line of code needs to end with a semicolon. There are exceptions to that, and here is one of those exceptions. Lines that have an if or an else if do not end in semicolons, and curly bracket lines do not end in semicolons either. So this is really the preferred syntax. I'm indenting everything in. There is, if you want to save space a little bit, I've seen this syntax, this way of doing it, where the curly bracket is on the same line as the if or the else if. That's fine too, but you should be consistent. If you're going to do it this way, just consistently do it this way. But still, the ending curly bracket lines up with the if or with the else if. So this is video 1. I hope you'll stay tuned for the other ones.